Hey guys, it's me, Mav. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Fun speculation. It's where we talk about video games. I just want to talk about some stuff today that I've been thinking about, so let's get to it. So first thing I want to say is Xbox, they need some marketing and image help. At some point along the way, I think at the end of the 360 era, going into the Xbox One, when they kind of really fumbled the launch and had a hard time, it became cool to trash them and kind of hate on them. And they haven't helped themselves any by canceling games and not putting out a lot of games along this whole generation. So it's nobody's fault but themselves. But now that things are changing, especially over the last couple of years with what they've been doing, things have gotten positive, but people's perception of them has not changed at all. So let's think about what they've been doing with all the Game Pass and all the development on buying studios and all the money they're pouring into all these games. That's a good thing. Yet somehow they still get trashed on and hated on, especially on YouTube for clicks and on Twitter for people just looking to have somebody to troll on. So they definitely have a little bit of a image problem where, it's not cool to like Xbox anymore. It's not cool to like Microsoft. So that narrative should be changing. Some reason it's not right now, and I think maybe it's just because the consoles are coming out soon and everybody's getting kind of amped up and really high on their platform of choice and everything. But this also has opposite effect where the Xbox diehard fans, they get defensive and then they start going after the PlayStation for no reason at all. Both are great, and one platform right now is the cool popular kid in school, and the other platform, the Xbox, is the kid getting bullied and doing everyone's homework to try and get them to like them. So let's all just chill. It's okay to like PlayStation. It's okay to like what they're doing. PlayStation obviously has great games, and we all know that they'll continue to put out more and more great games. That their marketing is top notch. They have world-class developers for software and hardware. They know what they're doing. They're kicking butt. They're making amazing games, and people love them for it. And it's awesome. It is cool, and I love it. I love to play all those games, and I think everybody could agree with that. Their marketing is just so smart with some of the things they do. Xbox, no matter what they say, they get hated on, and part of it is because of how they put stuff out there. I personally loved the Halo reveal. I thought it was awesome because I'm a Halo fan. So it had everything in there that I wanted to see. I don't really care about the textures or whatever. To me, it looked like Halo when it was in motion, and it looked like the Halo game that I want to play. So that's what I was excited about, and I still am. But for them to put out there something that they know technically is not super pleasing to people that are looking for that next gen experience is not smart, because if you're putting it out there, it's going to be scrutinized and going to be picked apart. And that people are against you. So if you're not having something that's ready to be shown, or if you have something that would be better to be showcased for next gen, showcase that as well, at least, as to not just have the one major gameplay focus being something that is mainly a current gen game with next gen enhancements, which is what we'll see on both consoles for a while. Whereas Sony, marketing wise, what they decided to showcase most of their gameplay was a game that's not close to coming out yet, which is Ratchet and Clank. You could see it's earlier in development, but they did showcase more of the benefit from next gen hardware. So one game's coming out this year, the other game isn't coming out for a few years. So that's one of the main differences. Also plus having the having to put that show together with the coronavirus and everything going on, where people are all working from home, and having a game that's closer to coming out, it's going to be scrutinized harder. Whereas if you were to pick up, if let's say Ratchet and Clank was coming out this year, it would have been picked apart for some of the frame skipping and stuff here and there, right? Whereas Halo, people are expecting it to be pretty dang near finished. So that's another reason why it's going to be ultra picked apart. So to show it in that state where the textures aren't that great is going to make people that aren't Halo fans or Xbox fans not find a reason to jump into the Series X and into the Xbox ecosystem, unless they had other stuff that was gameplay ready to show. So that's where I think some of the marketing ideas need to improve for Xbox. What they have is top-notch value with Game Pass, xCloud coming out, the backwards compatibility, the smart delivery, the enhancements they're making on the current gen games on the next gen hardware for free. They're doing so many amazing things that provide such a great ecosystem and value for the consumer. But when it comes to here's the moment to showcase what we got for the future, they fumble. And it's not because they don't have the stuff in development and in great studios now. It's just because they haven't been very good at showcasing that. So that I think they need to improve on that and help change their image, because they're just getting bashed right now unfairly with what they with what they're doing for the consumers and the gamers in general. But they did create this problem for themselves over the last generation. So I think as these AAA titles start to come out more, a lot of that narrative is going to go away. Let's just hope that what they have to show before the Series X comes out is going to showcase a little bit better as far as maybe changing some people's minds that have narrow viewpoints. Like I said, it's okay to like PlayStation if you like Xbox. It's okay to like Xbox if you like PlayStation. If you like purchasing games, it's okay to think that there's another option in Game Pass. If you like Game Pass, it's okay to say that you can still purchase games. There's no one way here. We're all gamers at the end of the day. So whatever one other company is doing is better for everybody, really, at the end of the day. You want more competition, you want more games, you want more enhancements in your games, you want better experiences, and we're all going to get that. I wanted to talk a little bit about Sony and how some of their clever marketing, because the way they can spin things is really genius for what that company is doing. For example, Xbox has smart delivery where you have Gears of War 5 and Forza Horizon 4 and these games are getting next-gen upgrades. And it's not going to cost anything. It's just if you own it, you get it, right? So that's awesome. I think that's how it should be. If you own a game and then you get a better piece of hardware, they can update that game to run better on that hardware, and you shouldn't have to pay for it. Whereas in this case, Sony is doing this thing with Spider-Man Miles Morales, where it was originally planned as an expansion to Spider-Man, which came out last year. Amazing game. Love that game. I beat the game. It's just an awesome game. So they know that they have a great franchise there that's going to bring a lot of excitement. So they decide hey, we're going to make this a next-gen experience for this expansion that we had planned, and we're gonna soup it up for next-gen. We're going to put these next-gen features and enhancements on it, and it's going to be a next-gen launch title. So far, that game has not been revealed or announced for PlayStation 4 as well. But what they did here is just the smart thing. Now, this is a rumor that is going around the last 2 days, and so I would take it with a grain of salt. But it very well could be true for what people are saying. It makes sense. That's what they would do. But the rumor is that Spider-Man, not Spider-Man Miles Morales, but the other Spider-Man, the original one, is going to get an enhancement for PS5 and is going to be included for free if you buy Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, people were already hyped up for this Spider-Man Miles Morales game. So now it's thinking, oh, wow, that's awesome. Now I get a free upgrade. Yeah, it sounds great. But you already did buy that game, and you are having to purchase something to get the upgraded experience of that game on the PlayStation 5. Whereas on the other platform right now, you don't have to do anything. You already own it, so they're just going to upgrade it and enhance it for you. So that's the main difference here, and that's how the marketing spin. Is really genius by Sony, because people are already excited about this. You're getting an enhancement for free if you buy this, so it sounds like a great deal. But if you really think about what it is, same thing we got last generation with these definitive editions and things. When the last generation took over with the Xbox One and the PS4 finally came out, you had all these games like Dishonored, Last of Us, and I can't remember all the games. There was a lot that had come out that got enhanced editions, right, or definitive editions, and they came with the expansions and the DLC and the enhanced, better version of that game. So if Spider-Man Miles Morales is coming out with the expansion plus the main game, to me, that's the same thing as the definitive edition. But they don't want to call it that, but they also can't. I think they are afraid of backlash if they just release Spider-Man Miles Morales at $59.99 or $69.99, whatever the plan is, without adding more value. So they need to package it with the original Spider-Man. It's the same thing as a definitive edition. But that had such a negative backlash on last gen, and people were saying that thing needs to stop, that they spun it differently, and it's really clever. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I personally don't agree with it. I don't know if it's the correct answer or if what Microsoft is doing is the correct answer. Personally, I believe Microsoft's approach is more consumer friendly, and that if Sony can enhance it, it should be free if you already purchased it. Also, I think if they can make a PS4 version of Spider-Man Miles Morales, they should do that as well. So that way you're not forced to buy the PS5 to buy a game that should be playable on a PS4 Pro. But that's just an opinion that I have. So it doesn't mean that I don't like PlayStation or don't like Sony. It's just that one thing. So sometimes when people say things like this, people get real defensive. And they think that you are hating on their platform. Well, that's just a one thing that you're saying that you wish would be different, right? I wish Xbox had more games. That's something that we all can agree on also. So there's room for improvement and different decisions, that I think both companies can make. And I think that Xbox has a lot of growing to do with their marketing approach to the gamers, and hopefully they keep investing in games. The bottom line is, though, we are in for a treat, because even though the first couple years on both of these consoles in reality we're kind of getting current gen experiences that are enhanced for next gen, I think that's going to be true for Halo Infinite. I think it's going to be true for Spider-Man Miles Morales. I think from what we've seen from those, they're pretty much current gen experiences that are going to be enhanced, right? Granted, we haven't seen a lot from Spider-Man Morales. I'm basing it on the fact that I think it's pretty much built on the same technology that Spider-Man was, being that it was originally planned as an expansion. So, we first couple of years here, especially the first year, I don't think we're going to get anything that's like, maybe with a few exceptions. There could be some third-party games that come out that we don't really know about yet, or maybe the Medium, or Something like that will be a really crazy, next gen experience. We don't know that yet, but from what we've seen so far and everything coming out this next year, it doesn't seem too far fetched that it couldn't come out on current gen consoles, right? But I think they're going to be running so much better and playing so much better on this next gen hardware that it's okay. If you want to dive in early, that's always been the argument. If you dive in early on a next gen system, you're not going to have true next gen games for a year or two. And that's what it seems like, especially with Xbox and PlayStation with the games that they announced at their shows. But that's okay, because if you really look at what we have coming, it's just insanely incredible that we are in this position where we're going to have these massive major games coming out that are going to be running and looking better than ever before. We have games like Demon's Souls, Project Athia, which may be Final Fantasy. It looked incredible. The Ratchet and Clank looked really cool with being able to change environments like in a snap. Fable, Avowed, Stalker 2 looked like it could be really cool. The Forza Motorsport game, rebooting it. Gran Turismo has been in development for a long time, so I can't imagine how good that game is going to be. The third-party games like Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6 is going to hopefully come this generation. We're in such a bright future for gaming. Things are happening in the gaming space that are just moving us forward. So everybody should enjoy all of that together. And stop thinking you have to bash the other companies for little things. It's okay if you don't like something that the other company's doing. It doesn't mean you have to go on the internet and hate everything that they're doing just for the sake of being on a side. I think as gamers, we're all together in this and wanting the best experience for everybody. So, I think all these games that are just announced is amazing. I could personally imagine both of the consoles, the Series X and the PS5, being released on the same day. I'll be buying both. I can imagine the whole world that day talking about video games and how positive they've been in the wake of the coronavirus, giving people a distraction without new movies, without a lot of new TV shows, without sports. There's one thing we've still had. We've had video games, and we've had great ones come out. We've had several great games come out during this whole span of the coronavirus. And we all have backlogs to finish. Personally, right now, I'm going back and finishing Witcher 3 because I need to get ready for Cyberpunk. It's one of my biggest shames is that I haven't beaten the Witcher 3. But I'm going back and playing that now. Getting amped for Cyberpunk coming out this year. So let's just keep talking about games, seeing what's next. Next up is going to be hopefully the pricing and release dates for these devices. And I know I'm excited. I know that, these games coming out are going to be amazing. So let's all get on the same page. Stop the hate. Love the game. Who's excited?